Hello, everyone. I hope everyone's having a good day. I have another awesome quality story for my audience. All of the stories that I tell are all stories that I have been through my lifetime, and I hope my audience can relate to my stories in some sort of way. So let's get into it. So, this was when I was like in a teenager age, and I had a lot of experience cutting grass. I had a lot of experience. I had co-ops experience. I learned through my one parent how to cut grass. I got a lot of experience for like 4 or 5 years, so I had a lot of experience, and I love doing it. I enjoy doing it. I have a lot of passion for it, so I thought it was a cool thing. So um so yeah, so I thought that I would help out Mrs. L. Mrs. L approached me and told me that the lawn is is like out of the world, like it's crazy, is what Miss L said to me, and says, "Well, can you help me cut my grass because it's out of control. It's long. It hasn't been cut. Looks like it hasn't been cut for years." And I was like, "Yeah, no problem." She says, "I will pay you $10 a week to cut my grass." And I said, "You promise?" She's like, "Yeah, I promise." And I was like, "Okay, cool." So I basically helped out cut the grass. Um, there was two different selections of the area of the grass. There was the front of the yard. That was like a smaller portion, but it was still long and messy. I had to get garbage bags out to pick up all the different organization stuff that's on the ground, like nails, garbage, water bottles, everything. There was like water bottles all over. I probably picked up like 20 water bottles counting. It was insane. So I basically just cleaned up the garbage first in the front, right? Once I didn't know it was good enough, that I used a lawnmower. So I went slowly, very slowly on the lawnmower because it was long grass. It was almost up to like my kneecap, so it was like pretty tall. And I basically went slow and steady, and I cut it the first time, and I'm still looking at it. I'm like, okay, well, it's still long, so I have to go over it 2 times. So I went over it again, and then it looked good and clean and stuff. And because it was so long, I actually had to rake up the grass. I had to rake it up in the front, so I mixed it all in the garbage together, and I raked it up, and basically put all the extra stuff, like the extra cutting grass, into the garbage, right? And then I end up going to the backyard, and I thought the front yard was bad. Actually, the backyard was even worse. It was like the grass was a little longer too. Like the grass was almost tall as me, and it was super messy out in the backyard. It was super messy. Like in there was a whole bunch of nails. It looked like somebody poured 2 containers of nails in the grass, so it took me a while to clean that up. There was water bottles all over the place. There was a whole bunch of like plastic plates all scattered all over the place, and there was a lot of plastic plates. Some looked used, some didn't. Yeah, they looked like there was even smashed plates, like glass plates, in the yard. They looked like there was like cat litter boxes in the there was a few of them. There was like 6 of them surrounded around under the deck. Um, so it took me about a half an hour just to clean it up because it was so messy, and it was long grass, like we're talking long. Um, Actually, I don't even know if this was the right way to do it. Some people might say it's not the right way to do it, but we had an old lawnmower from like the olden days. I don't even know how old it was, but it was old, and it was like no gas, no nothing. It was like basically one of those old ones where you just push it through the grass and it cuts it automatically, and it has like I think it has like 6 blades. So it was one of the old lawnmowers. So I went through the grass with that, and when I cut it, the grass is going all like it's grass is going all over the place. And I went over it once with that until it got to a level where I thought it was okay. And then, well, obviously first I would have had to clean up all the garbage. I had like I had like 7 garbage bags full of garbage, and that's quite a bit. That was quite a bit. After I was finished that, I put it all on the deck neatly because we have to put the garbage out to the curb, so I did that. But I didn't put it out to the curb or anything. I just put it all in a pile on the deck neatly, and then I cut it with the old lawnmower, and then I actually used the gas lawnmower. And obviously I went slow, did nice lines, did the best I could to my ability to make it look nice, right? And I cut it pretty straight line. But then I was like, okay, and I had to go over it 2 times with the lawnmower. So I cut over it again, right? I cut over it. It looked good. I showed Mrs. L how good. I got a really nice compliment. She said, amazing job. All this hard work pays off. I really appreciate it. I said, thank you. And she says, I will pay you next week. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So then I was like, all right, cool. So I didn't get money that week. Everything was good. Um, just did my original schedule. Didn't bother her. Didn't say anything about it. And then, so then, she told me to cut the grass again because it was getting long. Like, it was long because I'm pretty sure by this time it was around summertime. So I was like, okay. So I ended up cutting the grass again. I already cleaned it up. The garden looks good. Everything looks good. So I cut it again. It was long, but it wasn't as bad. So I did the same thing. I didn't use the old lawnmower. I used the original lawnmower with gas. So I made sure the oil was good. I made sure everything was good on the lawnmower. We had there was actually a gas thing, so I used that. It was pretty good. We had all the stuff there in the shed, so it was good. I didn't have to, buy anything or anything like that out of my money, as at least I know. So then I cut the grass again. I did a good job. The grass was long. I only had to go over it about 2 times to make it at a decent level and look good. Rake it up. Took me a bit. After I was finished, it was all good. So after the hard work, I sat down on the chair and I said to Miss L, okay, I cut the grass 2 times, and you said you'd pay me $10, and I did it 2 times, so you owe me $20. Lynn, Mrs. L looked at me and said, I don't have any money. And I said, well, if you don't have money, you promised you were going to pay me for the 2 times I cut. And, and I told Miss L, I mean, well, like, you're gonna have to pay me, or else I can't cut the grass again or work. And Miss L told me, it's your job to do it. You have to do it no matter what. I shouldn't have to pay you. And I said, no, you promised me you were gonna pay me. And, and I had to fight tooth and nail to get money. I just said, okay, well, I'm not gonna do any chores around here, so I guess you got a lot of work to do, and and eventually, after a while, Miss L gave in because she was scared that she's gonna have a lot of work to do. So she ended up giving me the full amount, $20, after saying that she didn't have the money. She had money in her wallet. She had like 20s in her wallet. She had money. Just Miss L didn't want to give it to me for some reason. And I said thank you. Miss L wasn't very nice, wasn't very friendly about it. But I was happy I did the work. I got paid for it. And and I said, I don't get you, Miss L. I thought you got paid. I thought you got allowance growing up as a kid. She's like, yeah, I did. So then I said, why are you not doing it for us, to teach us the value of money? And you work hard, you can have money. That's what you do. And Miss L said, well, I just don't feel like you have to get an allowance to do chores. You should have to do chores because you have to. And I said, that's not a very good example. And yeah, and we left off, and I was happy. Everything was good, and I just did my own thing. And yeah, so thank you for everyone for listening to my video. I work very hard on my videos every day, high quality. Everything is all here for everyone to enjoy. I hope my audience can relate to my story in some sort of way. I really appreciate it. Thank you, everyone, and I will see you guys shortly with another awesome quality video. Goodbye, everybody.